Guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we'll be recording the second part of the questions and answers from Wednesday. So if you like the video, please click the thumbs up. If you like to be notified about similar videos in the future, please click that subscribe button with the bell notification on. And now let's dive right into these questions. The next question is, what is the 12th house of Navamsha all about? Why does Atmakaraka there make you wealthy instead of poor? This is because we are counting from Atmakaraka to Navamsha Lagna to know what will be the experience of the soul or what is the direction in which one is born. So if Atmakaraka, for example, is in the 5th house, then one is very dharmic because there is the 9th house to the Navamsha Lagna. Similarly, if Atmakaraka is in the 4th house, we have 10th house to the Navamsha Lagna, which makes one very interested or focused on career life. And if the Atmakaraka is in the 10th house, then we have 4th house to the Navamsha Lagna, which makes one very interested in the family affairs. One is very much connected to the family or mother. So we are seeing from Atmakaraka to Navamsha Lagna, this is more important. And if the Atmakaraka is in the 2nd house, then this is usually making one very interested or very detached and interested in spirituality. And Atmakaraka in the 12th house will give person who is into the wealth, because from 2nd to the Navamsha Lagna we will have 2 houses. The next question will be about the Sun and Venus conjunction. What dosha is it and which areas of life are affected? So this is usually the Sun is distracted by Venus. So there is some kind of Grahana yoga, and the Venus is basically putting a weakness to the Sun. So we can say that the Sun will be eclipsed by the Venus. The Sun is no longer steady but is distracted by the Venus. So we can say that whatever the Sun rules, and also the house of this yoga, will be afflicted. The next question is, will Jupiter in Lagna in Vargas like D10 or D24 shows blessings of Lord Shiva? Yes, so whenever the ascendant is most important when it comes to Vargas, and if the Lagna Lord is well placed, then it's very good for the Varga. And similarly, if we have a moon or Jupiter in the any Varga, then one can be famous in that area of life. So if that is in the Dashamsa, one can get some fame when it comes to the career life. The next question is about the readings. So how many questions can one ask in a 90-minute session? So I'm offering 2 types of session. One is 90 minutes, one is 60 minutes. So the reading is traditionally divided into 3 parts. One is rectification, the second part is my understanding of the chart, and the third is questions and answers. So normally the person has 30 minutes for questions and answers, but many of them may already be answered in the second part. When it comes to that another type of reading, which is the 60-minute, it is usually related to one area of life. So if you want to have a career life reading or health reading or relationship reading, then the 60 minutes may be enough, or for the follow-up readings also the 60-minute is appropriate. Now we have details about the Shraddha Yoga of Shani and Ketu in the 7th house in the Pisces. So usually it can affect the father, especially if it's the past degrees of the ascendant. Saturn and Ketu can also show that one is dominated by others. So when it's in 7th house, it may show the toxic relationship one is in. So one has to be careful about the relationship. Then we can see Upapada. Which Upapada? We can connect Upapada to the Navamsha to see if it's a relationship or is it really inside the marriage this problem occurs. So Saturn and Ketu is not the best when it comes to such things. Also there is some attraction to the wild animals or exotic life. So the Saturn and Ketu is also going into that direction. There is nice lecture of Sanjay Rath about this, also related to the nakshatra of Anuradha, because the Anuradha is loaded by Saturn and in the sign of Scorpio, which is loaded by Ketu. So it's giving the similar effect. So this is the Turiya Gadi Yoga, if I remember correctly. So this is another phase of the Saturn and Ketu Yoga, but usually we say that one can be exploited, dominated. Even 7th house may show toxic relationships. The next question is how to see if person have narcissistic personality disorder in the chart. When it comes to inability to form relationship with others, this can be related to the Rikta Titi. So there are 5 groups of the Titis. So the Titis are divided into these 5 classes, we can say: Nanda, Bhadra, Jaya, Rikta and Purna. And when it comes to Rikta Titi, these are 4th, which is remedied by Ganesha. We have 9th, which is remedied by Durga. And we have also the Chaturdashi Titi, which is remedied by Shiva. So we have this Rikta Titis, and when one is born there, then one may have problems in forming relationship with others because the Rikta is water, Jala, and also the general Titi, Panchanga, is also in the element of water. So if we have this water and water elements, then this may be hard to form relationship with others, and therefore this may give this narcissistic traits. Now this can be quite innocent, and if we add the malefic Vara, and if we add a few nakshatras which can show that one is exploiting others based on this narcissistic trait, then it gets more negative. So we have to add something more. We have to add the malefic Vara basically, and we have to add the some specific nakshatras for that. So these yogas are Visha yogas in coming from Brihatparashara Horashastra. Then we have Venus, Rahu and Jupiter conjunction in the 4th house in the Pisces, and Rahu Mahadasha is going on. So normally we would say that Jupiter would exchange with the Rahu because Jupiter is the greatest benefic. So Rahu Dasha will bring the Jupiter results. But here in this case we have Venus also there, and Venus is exalted in Pisces. So when Venus, Jupiter and Rahu are together, then this would give the Venus now exchanging or having the yoga with the Rahu. So we can say that in the Rahu Dasha, one will experience the Venus Mahadasha, which should be the best Dasha of all these three. We have also here Sun-Venus conjunction in Ashwini Nakshatra for Aquarius ascendant. So that would be the 9th Lord and 4th Lord. Venus is the Yoga Karaka because it's loading the Kona and Kendra. So this is interesting because for Venus ascendants the Saturn is the best, because for Taurus or Libra it will load the 9 or 10 or 4th and 5th for Libra ascendant. So similarly for Saturn ascendants, the Venus is Yoga Karaka because for Aquarius it will load the 4th and 9th. So we have Kendra and Kona. So this one planet is like a Raja Yoga because it loads these two important group of houses, which are the fortune and stability. Therefore this yoga will rise to Shiva Yoga because we have 7th Lord and 9th Lord. So this make one opposite to being sectarian. One is having a broad views, very philosophical, and one can get some fame or recognition from things related to 7th house, which could be relationships or other people, and the 9th Lord, which is related to a higher wisdom or religion or dharma, any type of rules and regulations. So the Sun and Venus has this I would say it's very nice yoga. On the other hand, we know that the Venus will try to distract the Sun. So if Sun is weak, like here with the conjunction of Venus, the Venus is putting the Sun into debilitation. One can be easily infatuated by others, so the steadiness suffer, right? So one yoga can have good points or bad points. So from the Lordship point, it is definitely Raja Yoga. From the point of Karaka, there is some challenge to steadiness or Sattva Guna. But also we have to remember that Sun and Venus are very good for relationship because it is giving that ekapatni, which is the one wife. One cannot be attached to more than one person at the same time. We say that when the Sun is joining Venus or is close to Venus, then this Raja Guna of Venus is not going overboard. So this is good from that perspective. Upapada and A7 Lord having Rashi Drishti on each other indicate the love marriage. So normally we would say that we need to have some Venus indication related to the points of marriage for love marriage, whilst the Saturn or 8th house will give more about arranged marriage. Of course, there is some yoga of A7 and Upapada. This will also bring more indication into the love marriage. But here I would say that the Rasi Drishti lords on each other, I think it is too much. It is this is a little bit stretched. It's not the yoga for that. So we want to have the Venus in Navamsha Lagna or related to 7th house or related to Upapada, then we can say definitely that it's more love marriage. The next question is how to remember things about the astrology. I watched your video, still need to rewatch after a few days. Yeah, this is normal. We are not having the memory, the smriti of the rishis, so we need to rewatch, we need to practice more. We can say that the sign of the Jupiter in the Navamsha is showing how we can learn fastest. So for example, if you have Jupiter in fiery signs or related to Mars, related to Agni Tattva, then the examples can be better for you. You are learning through examples. So see when the Jupiter is in the Navamsha, and this can also increase your abilities to memorize things. And of course, it's always great to do the mantras and be in Sattva Guna, because if you are in that peaceful mood, if your water of your mind is still, then it's easy to all these things get into the special shelves of your memory. And now we have the Mars in 7th house for Scorpio ascendant. So on one hand, we want to have Mars in 7th house because it's giving the highest empathy, the highest mridu, the kindness. The person is the kindest of all, like Shri Ram had the Mars in 7th house. Also the Saturn for Shri Krishna, so malefics in 7 increase that kindness in the person. On the other hand, it's a Maranakaraka asthana, so for the lordship it is challenging. And here in the Scorpio ascendant, so that would be Taurus. So then we have that Mars-Venus yoga on the 7th house, which can show the problem with many relationships, because we have that Bahus 3 things invited into the 7th house. The next question is how the 7th Lord will be in the 11th house in Cancer. So I would say it's great. It would show the high ideals, because 7th Lord would be exalted in Cancer for Virgo ascendant. And this can also give some kind of fortune for children, because it is 5th to 11th. And this can also give wealthy spouse or income coming from in-laws or some relationship of spouse, because we have this connection of 7th Lord to 11th of income, of gains, of Aya. Then we have, please tell us about the books to start learning Vedic astrology apart from Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. So we need to have a classics, and we need to have some commentary to this classics. So I would say that the Jaimini Sutra would be the next one in this level, because these are authored by rishis. And then we have all the Sarvarta Chintamani, Jataka Parijata, Sharavali, Brihat Jataka, so all these classics. And then you need to have some commentary to this. So I'm always advising all books by Sanjay Rath and all books by Visti Larsen. I find them fantastic, and the crux of Vedic astrology will give you that house by house understanding what's going in the chart. And also Sanjay Rath has written the extensive commentary on the Jaimini Sutra, so you can learn a lot from these books. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for me. I hope you find it interesting and informative. If you do, please click that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.